What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. 50 Cent spent months calling Big Meech Big Screech. But now that the actual paperwork is being examined, the man accusing Meech of snitching got more explaining to do than Meech.
It's called Tammy Collins. She's privileged to what's called the affidavits in support of the wiretaps.
Okay.
It's like 3 affidavits. In those affidavits, it tells Meech's full role. Now, I wouldn't allow to have them because they played this, I'm this kingpin and I'm this killer and they life in jeopardy.
Right.
In danger.
Right.
That's why they was able to close the courtroom. We'd have been out at Meech. But they played a cold game. I give it to her. They was playing chess and we was playing checkers.
Okay.
She used the threat of her life and that I was gonna have some hitmen in the federal courtroom to kill her. And they closed the courtroom to me and my shit standing room only. A dude in that city, homie.
Right.
I'm that dude in that city.
Right.
So that's why it ain't been came out. But the affidavits in support of the wiretap, she has them.
So she can get them for sure.
If she got them.
Okay.
She got them. The only person they barred from having the documents was me.
Okay. So you the only one that don't got the information.
Right.
Gotcha.
Everybody else, it's called discovery. Everybody else got the packet.
Okay. Cuffy is saying Big Meech helped put him in prison without ever speaking directly with federal authorities. The claim is that Meech passed information to Tammy Collins. Tammy passed it to the government, and that became third-party cooperation. That story sounds serious until you ask the most basic question. Where is Big Meech's paperwork? Not a phone call, not somebody's memory, not Wack 100 explaining what happened. Where is the document showing that Big Meech gave information that was used against Cuffy? After all this talk, nobody has produced it. But Cuffy does have paperwork, and his paperwork shows more than he took a plea. Cuffy waived his right to indictment and pled guilty to a superseding indictment that laid out the drug operation, 2 murders, and the role of another man. The government's account says Cuffy directed R.I.C.H to kill Terrence Morgan to prevent Morgan from cooperating. Cuffy accepted that version of events in his guilty plea. So let me make sure I understand this. Cuffy is calling Big Meech a rat based on information nobody can produce. Meanwhile, Cuffy signed a federal plea that helped establish what another man did. How does the man with the actual admissions in federal court become the source used to label a man a rat who has no paperwork? That don't make sense. And this is where the story starts turning back on 50. 50 didn't just laugh at this rumor. He used his platform to give this rumor a nickname, a campaign, and a life of its own. He called Big Meech Big Screech before the public ever saw a document to justify it. Now we looking at the record, and the paper trail is leading in a different direction.
Oh yeah, I got Cuffy right here, man, St. Louis legend. You know what I'm saying? And I know people heard me speak about Meech's paperwork situation with the last interview that we had. And a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say. They don't believe it. Blues hating. You know what I'm saying? And when I went back and I looked at everything, I was like, you know what, bro? It's only right and only one way to really do it. You good? Only one way to really do it and just let dog speak for itself. So I wanted him to call in, and this is him calling in during the interview. Go ahead, Cuff, man. You can introduce yourself and take the flow.
What's up, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know, a lot of people, man, is thinking that this thing is made up or this thing is fake or that I have an axe to grind. You feel me?
Right.
But I'm in here with a 27-year sentence based on Demetrius Flannery, as you all know as Big Meech, and Tammy Collins, known in the paperwork as CS1.
Right.
Confidential Source 1. So what Big Meech did was call a third-party cooperation. So Tammy Collins signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut, plain and simple.
Blue Da Vinci agreeing with Cuffy don't turn the accusation into proof. It just gives the accusation another voice. Blue has his own history with BMF. He has his own feelings about Meech, Tammy, and how the BMF story has been controlled. So I understand why people listen when he speaks. But this ain't no popularity contest. If 2 people say a document exists, but neither person can show the document, we still have the same problem. No proof. This whole narrative was sold to the public like Big Meech's name was waiting inside a federal file, waiting to be exposed. Then people started looking. Meech's name is not there. So now the story changed. Now we're told his name would never appear because he used somebody else to do the snitching. That's convenient. The accusation cannot be disproven because every time the proof is missing, the missing proof becomes part of the theory. First, the paperwork existed. Now the paperwork is sealed. Then Meech's name was never supposed to be in it. At some point, this is not an investigation. That is a story protecting itself from the facts. And the fact that Cuffy received a negotiated sentence should not be pushed to the side. His guideline range was from 360 months to life. The government and Cuffy jointly recommended 324 months. And the court accepted his deal. That alone doesn't automatically make him an informant. But when the same plea includes admissions about who participated in the crime, Cuffy can't hide behind technical language when calling somebody else a rat. You can't use the street definition against Big Meech and then switch to the softest definition when Cuffy's paperwork comes up.
Man, you know, they always say you can't argue with yourself. So sometimes you gotta let it just talk and say anything, and then people find out what they saying ain't nothing. Like, if you don't got nothing to hide, then what you got to speak up for? I don't got nothing to hide. I don't got no points to prove. You know what I'm saying? If I done anything wrong, if any man done anything wrong when it comes to being a rat,
Yeah.
you got paperwork.
Okay.
Ain't no such thing as he third party.
You say, she say.
You can't. I can't say, hey, you tell for me and they gonna give me the time up. No, because you know who got to go in that courtroom to get his time cut?
You do.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you gonna be in that, it's on the docket sheet that you going in here.
Ain't no hiding that docket sheet either.
Right, ain't no hiding that.
Or no sentencing transcript.
You see what I'm saying? So like you can't appoint someone to tell for you and then or what they want to call it third party, and like you get the credit for it, or they can't fuck up the case, cause he or she is the DEA. You know what I'm saying? What I will say, like, when it come to me, like, I ain't used to doing a whole lot of talking anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, not when it come to some negative shit.
Yeah.
I'm on positive shit.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm going to exonerate myself because I'm an honorable man.
Absolutely.
Always been honorable and stand up. And those dudes that I left in them joints that took pictures with me and walked the yard with me, they the ones got the attitude.
Yeah.
So the trolls got to deal with them. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to deal with them, and you may not never know who that may be.
This is where Big Meech looks like the most mature person in this entire situation. He ain't running behind every camera trying to out-talk 50. He is not responding to every meme. He is not begging the internet to believe him. He is saying something much simpler. Show me the paperwork. When you know you didn't do what people are accusing you of, you do not always have to wrestle with every lie they tell. Sometimes you let the person making the accusation exhaust themselves trying to prove it. And that appears to be what happened here. 50's insult traveled faster because 50 knows how to control the narrative. He can give you a nickname on Monday and have the whole internet saying it by Friday. But a nickname is not a federal document. A meme is not a cooperating agreement. And a documentary promise is not evidence. Big Meech served more than 2 decades. There is no publicly produced paperwork showing he received a substantial cut in time for helping the government against Cuffy. That don't mean the public knows every conversation that happened. It means the people calling him a rat have not met the burden that they created. And Meech knows that. He don't have to prove that an invisible document don't exist. The person making the accusation has to produce that. Until then, all we have is a story.
She said, I bet you he won't send them to you. I said, well, you got all the paperwork. Said, I don't got that. That ain't my case. So I said, it ain't no big deal. So first I told Prince, go pull the pre-sentence agreement and the transcripts. Prince doubled back, say he can't get to it. I said, what you mean he can't get to it? Here go the nigga information. He says it's sealed. Okay. That don't make sense. Why it's sealed, but tell Cuffy, hey, they say it's sealed. Oh, no, ain't nothing. Let me put you with my daughter. Tell your daughter what you need. So I tell Prince, give me the docket numbers to what's sealed. So Prince gave me the docket numbers. So I specifically tell her, hey, I need these two. She calls the attorney. Attorney sent it to her. She emailed it to me yesterday. I want to put emphasis on, because people going to be saying, Wack, how could you get sealed documents? Well, whoever the individual is could always contact his attorney. They got all the documents, and that's what happened. And I got record of who emailed them to me last night. So the sealed documents that I got was emailed to me by Cuffy and his family. Without saying too much, Cuffy did get 27 years in the feds.
Wack 100 just exposed a hole in the entire case. He cannot find the paperwork. So now the paperwork must be sealed. Maybe it is. But you cannot call a man a rat based on what you imagine may be in a document that you've never seen. That is not paperwork. That's faith. And they have more faith in Big Meech being a snitch than they have evidence. Wack has always said documentation beats a conversation. And I agree with him. That's exactly why this story has flipped. The conversation says Big Meech told. The documentation available to the public don't show nothing. The conversation says Cuffy was the victim of somebody else's cooperation. Cuffy's own documentation shows him accepting a federal version of events that identified another person as a murderer. That is the paper trail that we can see. And if 50 Cent wants to live by street rules when he's attacking Big Meech, he can't start hiding behind courtroom technicalities when those same rules turn toward the people he's platforming. Under the street standard, Cuffy gave the government information by accepting facts that put another man inside a crime. Call it a plea, call it an allocation, or call it a negotiated deal. The streets are gonna call it telling. That is why 50 Cent is now standing in a terrible position. The rat hunt circled back to one side. And instead of Big Meech being exposed, Cuffy's paperwork became the most damaging document in the entire story. So I'm gonna take y'all out like this. Big Meech was accused loudly, but he has not been exposed on no papers. Cuffy accused Meech of third-party cooperation. But Cuffy is the one who entered into a federal negotiated plea and accepted facts that identified another man's role in violence. Blue Da Vinci confirming Cuffy's story don't make it true. Wack 100 saying the paperwork is sealed don't mean nothing because he ain't never seen it. And 50 Cent calling Big Meech Big Screech don't turn a rumor into a fact. 50 is great at winning the internet, but this time he may have fired the joke before checking where that paperwork was gonna land. Because right now, Big Meech is standing there with no public cooperation document attached to his name. Cuffy is standing there with a federal plea that puts details about another man on the record. And 50 Cent is standing beside Cuffy trying to explain why Big Meech is a rat. That story is getting harder to sell. If documentation beats conversation, then stop giving me conversations about Big Meech and show me the documentation. Until that happens, Big Meech has every right to say he kept it solid. And the people who tried to destroy his name may have been exposing the wrong man. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.